It's the red wave that wasn't. Many political experts predicted the 2022 election would be an easy grab for Republican candidates. But that's not what happened. Now, some of the races that could determine the balance of power in Congress are here in the Northwest. It's a cutting-edge brain surgery that requires no cutting at all. Patients simply arrive at the hospital with a tremor and walk out a few hours later with their lives changed. Yeah, Wayne, the sign behind me is clean now, but on Friday, the owner discovered some disturbing graffiti. Someone had painted a swastika on it. Wayne, that lawsuit is centered on an assault that reportedly occurred on January 4th. It accuses Portland Public Schools of negligence and says a staff member watched as two students attacked another and did nothing to stop it or get help. Wayne, it's business as usual here at Safeway, but it was a different scene last night. Police say shots were fired at around 11:30 after a confrontation between several men.
Amanda, this trial was based on circumstantial evidence. Was there any one piece of evidence or pieces of evidence that you felt were very favorable to the prosecution?
Yeah, I would actually say that there are two pieces of evidence. The most important one to them was the surveillance video. They had video of a van that looked exactly, it was the same make and model of the van that Nancy Brophy drove. It looked to be about the same year. It had what they saw as a scrape that matched hers, and the driver even looked to be Nancy. It was an older woman with curly hair.
The headline for your story here is "She Session in Oregon. Ongoing pandemic keeps women out of work." So what has given rise to this, what some people are calling a she session?
Yeah, so it's kind of twofold. Early on in the pandemic, we saw the women's unemployment rate jumped higher than it was for men. So more women lost their jobs initially. Now those unemployment rates are back to being about the same. What's really still seeing the impact here is the fact that more women have left the workforce, significantly more women. That means they're not actively looking for work. They're not out applying for jobs. There are factors keeping them out of work.
From the Oregon Zoo out to Sauvie Island, the Easter Bunny has his work cut out for him. Joining us on the couch with some fun Easter events for the kiddos and the whole fam this weekend is Coin Digital reporter Amanda Arden. Good morning.
Good morning, you guys. Thank you for having me out here.
Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Yeah. You've been hard at work scouring for Easter events all over the metro.
It's the egg hunt before the egg hunt.
Right. So we thought we'd have you talk about some of the highlights. I know you have much more on coin.com, but what are some fun ones that people might want to put on their calendar?
Yeah, so I came up with a list of 10 from all around the Portland area. But a few to highlight this morning: the Oregon Zoo is having its Hop into Spring event. Now, we usually think about Easter bunnies, but the Oregon Zoo has a lot of other animals that we can go and visit and enjoy this time of year. So you can check out, the polar bears, the elephants, all those good things. They're going to have zookeepers out explaining things to kids. They'll have activities, hands-on activities. They're even going to have a magician.
Oh, how fun.
A musician, but magician. Yeah.
That would be fun.
It's the red wave that wasn't. Many political experts predicted the 2022 election would be an easy grab for Republican candidates. But that's not what happened. Now, some of the races that could determine the balance of power in Congress are here in the Northwest. District 3 in Southwest Washington and Districts 5 and 6 here in Oregon are all too close to call.
Each of these seats are incredibly important, particularly in a close race.
As of now, Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez is still contending with Republican Joe Kent in Southwest Washington. In Oregon, Democrat Andrea Salinas is neck and neck with Republican Mike Erickson, while Lori Chavez-DeRemer is vying against Jamie McLeod-Skinner. Political science professor Chris Koski says these races, like so many others, are much closer than experts predicted.
Once we gain the national spotlight, then these races become truly nationalized. So insofar as we think about these kinds of local issues driving a lot of what we think about candidates, that is true. But it's also true that we think of each of these races as not necessarily entirely reflections of what we want as Oregonians, be it the governor, be it even the state legislature or members of Congress. We also think them as part of this broader battle nationally.
Regardless of who wins these races, Koski says both political parties shouldn't let their guard down. The balance of power will be delicate. Since this election wasn't the red wave Republicans predicted, Koski says the GOP will need to come up with a new strategy before the next election. That might mean taking a closer look at their stance on abortion and deciding if former President Donald Trump is the leader they want to continue to follow.
It seems like the Republican Party has a very significant leadership structure on it, leadership fight on its hands, which will begin if they have control of the House. We'll see some idea as to where they think they're going to go in that fight.
All three of those House races are still up for grabs. They're all extremely close, as we mentioned. We'll be watching them and we'll keep you updated as soon as they're called. It's a cutting-edge brain surgery that requires no cutting at all. Patients simply arrive at the hospital with a tremor and walk out a few hours later with their lives changed.
Well, Doc,
Hi.
how's it going?
How's it going? How are you?
How you doing?
Rick Cranston is all smiles and a few nerves as he greets his doctors before having brain surgery.
I feel great. I'm really looking forward to it.
For more than 20 years, Rick has suffered from essential tremor, a movement disorder that causes his left hand to shake uncontrollably. As a left-handed person, the shaking prevents Rick from signing his name, holding a cup to his lips, and playing his guitar.
It's not something that is life-altering to a large extent, but it's an inconvenience, and it affects other people because when I'm out, other people look at me and wonder, well, what do you have?
He hopes this surgery will bring stillness.
So Rick is going to go into a procedure called MRI guided focused ultrasound thalamotomy. It's a concept of creating a small lesion in the brain to treat a dysfunctional part. So this dysfunctional part, when it's lesioned or ablated, it restores function.
That lesion, as Dr. Ahmed Raslan describes, isn't caused by surgical cutting. Instead, doctors will place Rick inside an MRI machine and will direct more than 1,000 sonic beams through a precise part of the skull. The only thing Rick has to do is shave his head, something he's not looking forward to.
I've had my hair for 75 years. I've never had it cut off to where it was I'll go completely bald.
But a sacrifice he's willing to make. Next, doctors ask him to trace a spiral, draw straight lines, and write his name with his shaky hand.
And go from center all the way around to the center, and then try it with a small one. Draw a couple lines there.
As you can see, it's almost impossible with Rick's tremor. After that, the medical team fits Rick with a head frame to hold him steady during the procedure. Then he's wheeled back to the MRI room.
See you in a bit.
Doctors use imaging to ensure the sonic beams hit just the right part of the brain. The entire surgery takes just over an hour, but they stop a few times to check their progress. Rick retakes the drawing and writing test and brings a cup to his mouth. Each time, his hand is steadier. Finally, it's done. Rick is wheeled back to his room. He has a slight headache, but after 15 minutes of rest, he's ready to see us again.
I'm glad to be done with it, but I'm glad I did it. Dr. Raslan gave me the chart and the cup and everything. I could actually write my name with my left hand that I couldn't do before, and the spiral was 90% better than it was before, and I could draw pretty much straight lines.
It's been 1 year since OHSU started offering focused ultrasound treatment for essential tremor. Rick is the 31st patient to receive the surgery here. Dr. Raslan hopes many more people will seek the treatment in the program's second year.
It is impactful because it gives people back the freedom to do the simple and joyful things that they do in life.
That's exactly what Rick is looking forward to.
It really is a miracle. I'm going to say it's a miracle.
Reporting at OHSU in Portland, Amanda Arden, KOIN 6 News. Wayne, that lawsuit is centered on an assault that reportedly occurred on January 4th. It accuses Portland Public Schools of negligence and says a staff member watched as two students attacked another and did nothing to stop it or get help. According to the lawsuit, the victim was sitting in the common area charging their phone when two students approached them, started punching them, and walked away. Other people were in the room at the time of the alleged attack, and the lawsuit says one of those people was a paraeducator who did nothing. PPS says that's not true and that the paraeducator left to get security. In a statement, PPS said, quote, "We treat student matters with confidentiality, but want to clarify that the video of this incident shows a paraeducator walking to get a campus security associate. Given this is pending litigation, we're unable to comment further." According to the lawsuit, the victim had a history of being bullied by the two students and obtained a temporary stalking order against them shortly after this alleged attack. The lawsuit says PPS did move the two alleged attackers to a new school a month after the incident, and the victim changed schools due to a lack of trust. Now, we've reached out to the attorney of that victim to request an interview. We're still waiting to hear back. Reporting live at Grant High School, Amanda Arden, KOIN 6 News.